I think Mario 64 is my favorite game. Despite all the jank, it's the game that I can keep coming back to and keep having fun with after all these years. At this year's AGDQ Marathon, I watched a race for a game called Super Mario Land 3 Mix, a 2D Mario fan game that adds tons of new levels inspired by other existing Mario games. 2D Mario modding is super popular. I mean, heck, there's literally a Nintendo-produced game that lets you make 2D Mario hacks. I thought to myself, maybe there's a couple of fan levels for my favorite 3D Mario out there. Now, Mario 64 is not only in 3D, which is more complex, but it's in old 3D. It's cobbled together in an ancient form of code, MIPS assembly. I can't imagine there are that many Oh my god! I never knew. After all these years, I never thought to check. There's an insane amount of Mario 64 ROM hacks. I don't even know how long it would take to condense everything I've played and talk about it all in a video. But hey, gotta start somewhere, right? I've blabbed enough. Let's talk about some Mario 64 ROM hacks. Today's video, I want to focus on the big boys. Hacks that look to replace your entire core adventure of 100 plus stars with completely new levels or enemies or challenges. Let's start with one of the biggest and most influential Mario 64 hacks of all time. Star Road. Super Mario 64 Star Road dropped in 2011, and despite being one of the oldest major ROM hacks around, it is still by far one of the best. It positions itself as a sort of sequel to the original Mario 64, pitting Mario against old foes and new challenges for a grand total of 130 stars. My absolute favorite part about this hack is that it has an almost constant focus on platforming, challenging you to push onward and upward using every trick at Mario's disposal. It's also what I would consider to be about one step higher in difficulty than the original game, sometimes asking you to do some pretty awkward or complicated jumps, even right at the beginning of your adventure. Thankfully, emulators come with one very crucial tool: quick saving and quick loading. If you mess up, you can just do it again. If you mess up, you can just do it again. I tried not to abuse this newfound superpower too often, but for some ridiculous challenges, a quick load is a must. One of the more impressive parts of this hack is the camera, which 9 times out of 10 works similar to Mario Sunshine, where you can freely turn your view around left and right. But that 10th time out of 10, it's booty. There are some annoying quirks from the old Mario games, such as requiring specific cap switches to beat certain levels. In this level, for example, I did a whole bunch of platforming to get here, only to realize that I completely wasted my time. Oops. Not every stage is unique, but there's a good mix of classic and original themes. As a whole, I think Star Road has some of the best design levels in the world of Mario ROM hacks. Each stage rewards both movement skill and exploration. It isn't entirely without its faults, but it's by far the ROM hack that made me feel the most like I was playing an extension of the original game. If you're interested in Mario ROM hacks, I'd say start with Star Road, see what you like and don't like about it, and branch out from there. Another major hack from 2011 I recommend is Super Mario 74. This strangely named hack adds 10 to the original title and over 30 stars to the original count. This hack lies somewhere right in between serious level mods and straight trolling. It isn't quite Kaizo level difficulty, but it will push your buttons. For example, Bowser's bombs are raised in the sky and require a pretty awkward throw to hit them. And look at this King Bob-omb fight. You have to throw him onto his platform for the hit to count. And there's fire. And if you thought that platform was small, wait till I show you Womp. This is ridiculous! These stages also are not the prettiest. There's a lot of simple, open green field courses with set pieces plopped down like it's a big jungle gym. Heck, even the first castle is mostly grass? But as nonsensical as the hack can be, it's also full of what I crave: more tight and well-designed platforming challenges. It can get a little bit repetitive for how often you use the basic wall kick between two really tall parallel walls, but hey, wall kicks will work. It's rough around the edges, but it's still challenging and fun. And if you want a real challenge, there's a more diabolical version of 74 called the Extreme Edition. For me, the regular 74 felt like just the right amount of spice. Moving forward a couple of years brings us another popular hack, Super Mario 64, The Green Stars. Here's yet another 130-star adventure that plays along the same lines as Star Road, with simpler levels that aim to recapture the feel of the original Super Mario Bros. 64 game. I decided to play with a mod that allows you to be Green Mario, since all this game's stars are green, inspired by Mario Galaxy. There are also remixed boss fights, like this Bowser fight where the bombs are red. Didn't we just do this? Sometimes it can be just as infuriating as 74, but for some different reasons. One star gave me a hint to stand under a palm tree in order to warp to the lighthouse. So I'm standing under every single palm tree I can. I'm going nuts. I'm thinking I must have missed a tree, or maybe there's a hidden palm tree, or something I'm not understanding. In the end, it turned out I stood at the right tree, but I was standing at the wrong side. You have to stand on this side if you want the warp. But then once I warped up, I realized it's actually incredibly hard to get the star without bumping your head on the ceiling and going plummeting down. You have to do a hyper-specific jump to work around this. Oh yeah, and the entire time, the worst remix of Sandy Seaside Bay of all time is belting in your ears with this screeching high note blaring a third of the time. Put some headphones on. I have not edited the audio for this in any way. But nitpicks aside, Green Stars actually does have some solid stuff in it. Even when it's broken Mario 64, it's still the Mario 64 engine that I know and love, and I still had fun playing this. And starting to get to the more recent years, we have a project from arguably the most well-known Mario 64 modder of all time. Last Impact by Kaze Emanuar. Get used to this name, because you're going to be seeing it a lot over any Mario ROM hack video I do. Kaze has so many hacks that he even has a hack that lets you make your own mini-hacks. But by far his largest project is Last Impact. You're gonna notice right away that this hack is way out there. It's full of completely new enemies, power-ups, textures, bosses. It even has original music tracks. Some of the new stuff is lifted from existing games, such as using Flood or Cloud Mario. But some stuff in here is completely new, like the really cool Spider Mario that can create a climbable vine in the middle of a mid-air jump. This hack also has by far the most unique stages I've seen for a mod of this kind, from a run-down witch-hunting town to a mountain of school supplies. There's even a working calculator in here. Last Impact is definitely the most experimental Mario 64 hack I've ever played, but it's also one of the most unstable I've ever played. This is how my very first star went. Oh, sick! This game has Flood? That's nuts! And look at this, all these textures are completely unique, and we're soft-locked. First star. There was literally no button combination to escape this. I'm stuck forever, and that's it, gotta reset. Stuff like this became a somewhat regular occurrence. Work hard to get 100 coins, and then immediately clip through the level to my death. Soft-locked in pinball. Okay, this pinball stage is evil! I like bringing in something cool, like Flood from Mario Sunshine, but I did not order the pachinko level! Even with that though, this is by far the ROM hack I spent the most time playing. All the way up to 100% completion. Sure, it's super breakable, but it's also packed full of charm. I just love stuff like this recurring comic relief Goomba trio boss, or this area where you get to play Mario Party minigames for stars. It's all over the place, but Last Impact is a one-of-a-kind adventure, and I had a really great time with it. And moving to another project from Kaze is one that I really enjoyed from just last year. Super Mario 64 Ocarina of Time. This humongous 171-star hack takes the entire landscape and every Ocarina of Time dungeon, and it repaints it all with a Super Mario 64 playstyle. You're still running and jumping and punching like Mario, and every enemy and NPC is now a Mario character, but this mod is packed full of its own unique twist on the RPG formula. Now you've got a magic meter, multiple unlockable abilities, a fast travel system, and a whole lot of puzzles. Even though everything looks just like Ocarina of Time, many of the main scenarios and puzzles are completely redone to fit Mario 64. Just like Last Impact, things can get a little broken at times. I even ran into one dungeon that straight up didn't load one of its puzzles, and I learned that the only way to fix this specific issue is just reloading the emulator. But once again, this was a mod that had me absolutely hooked. Also, if you're looking for something similar but lighter, the Kaze-made Donkey Kong 64 Mario mod is another fun 50-star N64 mashup with unlockable abilities. Our last major hack for today is a doozy. Welcome to the wild world of Star Revenge. I hesitated to even start Star Revenge because the premise is just so intimidating. It is a massive multi-part Mario ROM Hacks series with connected lore, branching webs of area maps, there's self-inserts, anime, there's a bit of everything in here. Star Revenge has 8 distinct episodes that drop between 2012 and 2016. But also, almost every episode has had some form of remake or sequel or prequel or side story which birthed all of this nonsense with a 0.5. What is this, Kingdom Hearts? I decided to dip my toes into the waters of Star Revenge by playing the most updated version of the remake of the first episode, very simply titled Star Revenge 1.5, Star Takeover Redone 2.1. Whew! I don't know what's crazier, the titles for this series, or the fact that it's actually really fun. There's a lot of silly gimmicks, but most of them are just texture hacks. The levels themselves are built around platforming and exploring. I don't have the original game to compare this remake to, but you can tell that the developer put a lot of work into making this game fun and streamlined. There's cannons that you can unlock to assist with backtracking, your red coin stars only require 6 red coins, 100 coin stars only require 80 coins, and the game is full of signs and information to help steer the player to the next star or secret. I can't vouch for every game in this million-episode series, but this first remake gets my seal of approval. Maybe someday I'll get the time to go back and see how the rest of the episodes held up. But in the meantime, we have a lot more hacks to dig up. While today's hacks focused on some fan games that were massive in scope, next week's part 2 will focus on mini hacks. These builds are either small in scope, with just a handful of stars to collect, or maybe they offer one small modification to the base Mario 64 game. Here's a little taste from last year that made the rounds: Super Wittzette 64. A Kaze character mod straight from your favorite fan art and right into your worst nightmares. I've seen some good Wittzette mods out there. This one from Stupid Mario Bros. 1 fan is actually amazing. Wittzette 64 is also amazing, but for all the wrong reasons. The default Waluigi bow-legged stance, the glazed over low-res face, this is art. It's the same base Mario 64 game, but with one explosive twist. You now punch fireballs that destroy all kinds of objects. NPCs, bosses, doors, dead, dead, dead! All will bow down before the almighty power of this 3-month-old meme. In the words of Kaze himself, I didn't do this because I wanted to do it. Someone paid me to do this shit. And that is fan service. Now, speaking of fan service, we need to have a talk. We need to talk about fan service and clickbait. There's a great war going on in this channel. A lot of changes have gone down on the JWitz channel at the turn of the year, but the biggest thing has been that I'm making more videos about things that I like with things that I like. One of those things includes some new thumbnails drawn by our good friend C Party. I enjoy the aesthetic of a cute anime character, and she draws cute anime characters. It also turns out that people like to click on a thumbnail with cute anime characters, and a lot of these newest videos have brought a lot of new people to the channel. Many of you love these thumbnails. Many of you detest them. Both opinions are equally valid, but one thing that's getting me confused is how many people are upset that I am using quote-unquote clickbait. What does that even mean? If by clickbait you mean trying to get people to click on my videos, literally every thumbnail I have ever made is clickbait. I hope people click on my videos. But maybe many of you are focusing on the bait part of the phrase clickbait. Maybe you feel like all these cuties are tricking you into coming to my channel and watching my stuff. And while it's definitely a new style for us, it isn't our goal to trick you guys. Weak Smash characters, we took a popular character I considered weak and made her look weak. Smash DLC is just Shantae. That's her design. She's a character in the video. And the Dunk 2019 video is about Fire Emblem Heroes and dunking, so we combined the two? So many people were mad at this one specifically. This is no more risque than Lola Bunny from Space Jam. Is it the pose people are mad about? That's the Anna face. She always does the thing. Now, I understand. The power of the waifu is unmatched. It's why so many of my friends use cute anime faces for their Twitch subscriber emotes. And actually, speaking of waifu, there were a shocking amount of people who were quite worried about my real physical wife with all this. Renee gave into the power of the waifu long ago. Monster Musume's Mia is all over her office and adorns her Twitch chat on a regular basis. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I hope you guys understand that we are occasionally using the thumbnails to have some fun and pique the interest of potential new viewers. Whoa, settle down. Settle down. You don't want to make me do something that we might regret. Okay, that's it. You asked for it. Oh.